Hey guys, so we put together this channel so that everyone can get in a little bit of activity while we're kind of stuck inside, and I know everyone's probably getting a little bit of cabin fever, so let's try to do a piece of one of my HIIT workouts, which is high intensity interval training. I know that sounds intimidating, but it's based on whatever high intensity is for you and what you can carry out throughout the workout. You get 30 seconds to a minute in between sets. Let's see, I have 6 exercises here, and each one has a progression or a digression. So there's a way to do it, in a difficult manner, and then there's a more simplified way if you're not as conditioned to that exercise. So I'll go through each one, and then I'll give an example. So if you can combine this with, when we're able to, weightlifting, swimming, any other type of low-level cardio, you'll get the best results because the body responds to change. Alright, so that's pretty much it for right now, and I'll get started. So the first movement, and I hope you can see me, it's not the best setup in the world, is going to be jumping jacks if you're able to. And that's if you're not so concerned about putting pressure or impact on your joints. So if you're a little bit lighter on your feet, then you could start with some jumping jacks, which look just like this. Also, if that's more difficult, what you can do is something with just a little bit less impact coming out, and that's just a little bit of a jump with the arm movements. The next digression from there, if that's still a little bit difficult, is just a little bit of a light jog. And if you can see here, I'm not even really picking up my feet very much. If you can, that's preferable. But if you are able to do that, then there's a chance that you can probably do at least the modified jumping jack. Next, I have, if doing the light jog is still a little bit much, if you have hip mobility issues, try your best. But the next thing down from that would just be a single leg lift at a time. So just lifting the knee as much as you're able to, and that'll help improve some of that range of motion. So that's the first exercise in our set, and we're going to be alternating it with push-ups. So if you're able to do a regular push-up, she'll look something like this. If you're able to, try and get those triceps back. For more of a military push-up, you should be in about a plank formation from shoulder to heels. No butt sagging, no butt sticking up. If that's difficult, the next digression from there would be on the knees in assisted push-up, like so. And then if that's difficult also, sometimes it's kind of hard to keep that core tight, you can do a push-up on a wall. Put your feet back. I don't know how well you can see me from here. And push up just like that. Just be careful of your noggin on the wall. And then, if that's also difficult, you can use the wall for support to add a little bit of core, but just do more of your high knee walks. We'll go from up vertical to at an angle to engage the core and obliques. So you're going to alternate between those. You're going to do 10 at a time. So I'll show you how that's going to look going 2 at a time. So if we're doing jumping jacks, I'll do all higher intensity activities first. So 10 jumping jacks. Then next you would do 10 push-ups. Just like that. The next digression from there, if those 2 are difficult and you want to step down, the regular jumping jacks like that, and then the assisted push-ups. Okay. The next digression from there is the light jog, like that. You can do, every 2 steps. Make it a count. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then the Oh wait, how did I have that? Oh yeah, and then the wall push-up. 1, 2. Okay, and then last but not least, if these are all pretty difficult and you want to stick to something a little more comfortable, you can pick up your feet as much as you're able to, do the same type of counting, and then come over to the wall, try to engage the core, and work on some obliques by pulling the knee up to the opposite side. Alright, so that's how you're going to do each of those sets. Then you're going to take about 30 seconds to a minute in between. Let's see. After your next set, so you had your 30 seconds to a minute, maybe got some water, not too much, don't chug it, and you're going to be right back at it just to maintain that intensity the whole time. You're going to do next some mountain climbers. I'll do that from the side because I think it's easier to see. It's bringing the knees up just like this. I like to do these things in socks. I would just advise that if you do wear sneakers, to just spray them off or disinfect them before. Try to disinfect your area before and after also. And then if you're not able so much to do those full mountain climbers, you could come down like this and bring the knee up, put them both back, knee up, knee up. If that's still difficult, you can go into an assisted push-up position, okay? And you can do shoulder touches. All right, so you're gonna do those two. Try and put on some music. Maybe while you're doing in between, pause this, go do that, and then come back. So next, you're gonna either do that or you're gonna be doing squats. A regular squat, it's probably not been modeled for you before, but a regular squat is about a shoulder width distance apart, nice comfortable stance. You're going to be leaning back and sitting into it rather than having these knees come way over the front. Have your arms out to balance and come back up. Your knees should go to about a 90-degree angle. That's a square angle like that. The next digression from there is just doing it with a seat behind you. This one's a little high. I don't have another one. So what you would do is just touch your butt to the edge of that seat. And then that'll kind of just train your mind to sit back when it's not really natural to do so. And lastly, if that's still difficult, I would say do your sits to stands like we do in the assessments. Sit down, stand up, sit down all the way, stand up. But the key is to just try not to use your hands to stand up. So that's those. So just a reminder, your next set is mountain climbers and squats, or regular knee ups like this, or there you go, putting it back, and assisted onto a seat, or if you want to go back to alternating in between, you can always do this when you're kind of like idling. So you're going to alternate those 10 each on each, and then you're going to take 30 seconds to a minute again. When you come back from that 30 second to a minute break, you're going to go back to your last two exercises. You've done incredibly well so far. That's going to be a 10-second plank, which we can count. So I'll show you the most difficult version first. Alright, so your average plank, you're going to be flat on your forearms. Your elbows want to be right below your shoulders and up on your toes so that you're forming a plank from your shoulders all the way to your heels. Just like this. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay? So that's our first move. And then we're going to alternate that with side lunges. Similar to a squat, but as you can see, we're leaning much more to one side and still sitting back fully. Alright, so those are the most difficult version. The next progression down is a high plank. So up like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then the other part of the lunges is you can use another chair. Just do one side at a time. Touch, up, touch, up. So that's something that you can do for a digression. And then the last thing you can do, if that's still pretty difficult, is to be down on the floor, prone, laying face down. Keep your eyes up though at all times. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your toes, dig your toes into the ground, and you're just gonna lift, lift, lift. This gives you time in between. It breaks it up a little bit, so that if you're really just starting to engage those core muscles, it'll be a little bit easier and it'll be send you on your way to doing that. So that's your last thing, and the last digression for the side lunges is just simply working on your foot placement. So not necessarily dropping your weight into the stance or back, but just working on putting your foot exactly where it goes. Turns into a little bit of a balance exercise, agility. So after that, if you take a nice break, do a stretching routine. Maybe I'll make a video about that. Eat some protein, 30 to 90 minutes afterward. Drink water if you're able to, quite a bit. And take it easy, guys. See you next time.